think the positives were, I think we got the best record in the league. I think we get to advance into the play-in tournament, which I think has been a success so far. I think it's definitely generated the type of competition, the viewership that that the league, the Players Association, that was kind of looking for. So I think that was a positive. I know the point differential is something that maybe is being talked about, but I think a lot of positives overall you know from the idea that has emerged now into being an in-season tournament.
Were you surprised that it's kind of caught on the way that it has? Were you skeptical as whether there would be the interest that has been?
I wasn't skeptical. That wouldn't be the right word. I was probably just more curious. It's just something new. I wanted to see how the guys would respond to it. The older guys and the younger guys, to see the kind of review what it would be, what would be the feedback generally from the players and stuff like that. And for the most part, I think everybody was kind of in the same boat. Like, they didn't hate it, but they didn't love it either. But as it's starting to grow, I think people are starting to gravitate to it a little bit more. So I'm thinking I think it's been a good thing so far.
How much do you want to win it? Do you care about winning it?
I think winning is in our DNA here in Boston. So anytime there's a chance to win anything, I think that's what we're going to take.
How do you view this rivalry against the Sixers?
I think so. I think the Celtics Sixers rivalry goes back probably before I was even alive. So to be honest, it's an honor just to be able to compete and live in that honor and that tradition and that legacy, because it goes back from the Wilt Chamberlain and Bill Russell days and beyond that. So I think it's fun. And I think it's like one of the bigger rivalries in sports, or one of them, and I'm just a part of that storyline.
How has Tyrese changed the way they play?
Maxi is just fast, dynamic. You know what I mean? You let him get out in the open floor, he's tough.
A few years ago, Joel said it wasn't really a rivalry because you guys kept kicking their ass. It was probably a little after that second round series, first round series a few years back. Last couple of years, though, it's been a little bit more tight. So I guess, what do you think the state of the competition is between the two?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's basketball, and anytime we get in a situation we're trying to win a game, regardless if it's a rivalry or not. And I think over the last years, most of the playoff matchups we've been able to win, but we want to continue to maintain that in the future. So I don't want to speak too much on it.
You guys are pretty aggressive on the offensive glass. Al was saying early in his career, he was always get back on defense. Now you guys are always sending multiple guys there. When did you start to see that change and become an emphasis for not only this team but different teams around the league that you play?
I think recently, not too long ago, that became more of an emphasis around the league, just to crash. It's like my first few years in the league, it was always sprint to get back and stuff like that. At least, I think it definitely changes the game, gives your team more opportunities. So we got a lot of athletes. Me being one of them, I got to look to crash more.
You've seen Jayson his whole career. Beyond the God-given talent, what do you think has allowed him to climb and grow into one of the better players?
I think just work ethic. I think one. I think just the amount of time, the amount of effort, the amount of detail that goes into your craft. Already he's one of the more talented players on the planet, and you add the effort, the detail, the work ethic on top of that, the focus level. It's been able to be turned into what we see now today. We all have contributed to that, but we all have gained from that as well. So it's been great.
Jaylen, did someone send you that picture of the stepbrothers with you and Kristaps, or did you do that yourself?
Somebody sent it to me. One of my friends sent it to me that has been following him. And me and KP been building some good chemistry. Caught a lot of highlight plays and stuff like that. And I'm always looking for him. Since he's been here in Boston, it's been a great contribution, and I know he's so important to what we're trying to build. So I see it as like somebody that I want to, have a good relationship and help, make sure they have a good experience while they're here.
You mentioned your kind of knowledge and understanding of the Sixers, Celtics rivalry and the historical aspects of the game. How often are you kind of find yourself driven to become an historical player yourself? And is that something that you and JT talk about at all?
Not something we talked about, but definitely something that drives you. Just growing up, listening to all the stories of the NBA and the past and things that have happened in history. It'd be great to someday be talked about in that same light. So I think that is really cool, and I think that a lot of the work and effort that we put in is ultimately to be legends in this game. Whether here in Boston or just in the sport of basketball in general.
Jaylen, you guys got off to a hot start last year too. What do you think is the key to being able to maintain that same super high level of play throughout the whole season?
I think focus. I think the in-season tournament is going to help us a little bit. Why? Because the season can get a little mundane. 82 games, so it's a grind and just kind of like monotonous a little bit, game after game. By mixing it up, having a little bit of something a little different, I think it'll increase our focus levels and hopefully we'll be able to keep that maintained throughout the season.
Jaylen, you guys got more out of the coach this year, you and Tatum specifically. Was that something that you guys talked about after last season, or is that something that came out of training camp once Drew and Tatum got here?
I just think that that's two of our skill sets. Me and Jayson love to play with our back to basket as big wings, take advantage of matchups, and you score more efficiently, especially in the playoffs when things get a little tougher. It's a way to get shots, and it's just always been that way throughout time. So just being able to use that more, but still having a high, efficient, and spaced offense is important.
Has Kristaps seen that movie? Step Brothers? Are you?
I didn't even ask him. I'm gonna ask him before I get out of here.
I know what that means, so that's my drums.
I'm sure he's seen it though.